Are you here for a quick recap of all Thor movies in one video? You're about to fresh up your memory and save yourself the time of watching the movies again. Let's dive in the first movie, Thor in 2011. In 965 AD, Odin, king of Asgard, wages war against the frost giants of Jotunheim and their leader Laufey, to prevent them from conquering the 9 realms, starting with Earth. The Asgardian warriors defeat the frost giants in Tonsberg, Norway, and seize the source of their power, the casket of ancient winters. In the present, Odin's son Thor prepares to ascend to the throne of Asgard, but is interrupted when frost giants, secretly allowed in by his brother Loki, attempt to retrieve the casket. Against Odin's order, Thor travels to Jotunheim to confront Laufey, accompanied by Loki, childhood friend Sif, and the warriors 3, Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun. A battle ensues until Odin intervenes to save the Asgardians, destroying the fragile truce between the two races. For Thor's arrogance, Odin strips his son of his godly power and exiles him to Earth as a mortal, accompanied by his hammer Mjolnir, now protected by an enchantment that allows only the worthy to wield it. Thor lands in New Mexico, where astrophysicist Dr. Jane Foster, her assistant Darcy Lewis, and mentor Dr. Eric Selvig find him. The local populace finds Mjolnir, which SHIELD agent Phil Coulson soon commandeers before forcibly acquiring Foster's data about the wormhole that delivered Thor to Earth. Thor, having discovered Mjolnir's nearby location, seeks to retrieve it from the facility that SHIELD has constructed, but he finds himself unable to lift it and is captured. With Selvig's help, he is freed and resigns himself to exile on Earth as he develops a romance with Foster. Loki discovers that he is Laufey's biological son, adopted by Odin after the war ended. Loki confronts Odin, who wearily falls into the deep Odin sleep to recover his strength. Loki takes the throne in Odin's stead and offers Laufey the chance to kill Odin and retrieve the casket. Sif and the Warriors 3, unhappy with Loki's rule, attempt to return Thor from exile, convincing Heimdall, gatekeeper of the Bifrost, the means of traveling between worlds to allow them passage to Earth. Aware of their plan, Loki sends the Destroyer, a seemingly indestructible automaton, to pursue them and kill Thor. The warriors find Thor, but the Destroyer attacks and defeats them, prompting Thor to offer himself instead. Struck by the Destroyer and near death, Thor proves himself worthy by his sacrifice to wield Mjolnir. The hammer returns to him, restoring his powers and enabling him to defeat the Destroyer. Kissing Foster goodbye and vowing to return, he leaves with his fellow Asgardians to confront Loki. In Asgard, Loki betrays and kills Laufey, revealing his true plan to use Laufey's attempt on Odin's life as an excuse to destroy Jotunheim with the Bifrost Bridge, thus proving himself worthy to his adoptive father. Thor arrives and fights Loki before destroying the Bifrost Bridge to stop Loki's plan, stranding himself in Asgard. Odin awakens and prevents the brothers from falling into the abyss created in the wake of the bridge's destruction, but Loki allows himself to fall when Odin rejects his pleas for approval. Thor makes amends with Odin, admitting he is not ready to be king. Meanwhile, on Earth, Foster and her team search for a way to open a portal to Asgard. We are now shifting to the second movie, Thor: The Dark World. Eons ago, Bor, father of Odin, clashes with the dark elf Malekith, who seeks to unleash a weapon known as the Ether on the 9 realms. After conquering Malekith's forces, including enhanced warriors called the Kurst, on their home world of Svartalfheim, Bor safeguards the Ether within a stone column. Unknown to Bor, Malekith and a handful of dark elves escape into suspended animation. In present-day Asgard, Loki stands imprisoned for his war crimes on Earth. Meanwhile, Thor, alongside warriors Fandral, Volstagg, and Sif, repels marauders on Vanaheim, home of their comrade Hogun. It is the final battle in a war to pacify the 9 realms following the reconstruction of the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge between realms, which had been destroyed 2 years earlier. The Asgardians soon learn that the convergence, a rare alignment of the 9 realms, is imminent. As the event approaches, portals linking the worlds appear at random. In London, astrophysicist Dr. Jane Foster and her intern Darcy Lewis travel to an abandoned factory where such portals have appeared, disrupting the laws of physics around them. Separating from the group, Foster is teleported to another world where, beyond Heimdall's near all-seeing vision, she absorbs the Ether. Heimdall alerts Thor, leading him to Earth. When Thor finds Foster, she inadvertently releases an unearthly force, and Thor returns with her to Asgard. Odin, recognizing the Ether, warns that the Ether will not only kill Foster, but that its return heralds a catastrophic prophecy. Malekith, awakened by the ether's release, turns Algrim into a Kurst and attacks Asgard. During the battle, Malekith and Algrim search for Foster, sensing that she contains the ether. Thor's mother Frigga is killed protecting Foster, and Malekith and Algrim are forced to flee without Foster. Despite Odin's orders not to leave Asgard, Thor reluctantly enlists the help of Loki, who knows of a secret portal to Svartalfheim, where they will use Foster to lure and confront Malekith away from Asgard. In return, Thor promises Loki vengeance on Malekith for killing their mother. With Volstagg and Sif stalling Asgardian soldiers and Fandral assisting their escape, Thor, Loki, and Foster head to Svartalfheim. There, Loki tricks Malekith into drawing the ether out of Foster, but Thor's attempt to destroy the exposed substance fails. Malekith merges with the ether and leaves in his ship as Loki is fatally wounded while killing Algrim. Thor, cradling Loki in his arms, promises to tell their father of his sacrifice. Afterward, Thor and Foster discover another portal in a nearby cave and reunite in London with Lewis and Foster's mentor Dr. Erik Selvig, who was briefly institutionalized due to the mental trauma he suffered during Loki's attack on Earth. They learn that Malekith plans to restore the Dark Elves to dominance by unleashing the ether at the center of the convergence in Greenwich. Thor battles Malekith through various portals and across multiple worlds until one portal separates them, leaving Malekith unopposed on Earth. Thor returns in time to help his mortal comrades use their scientific equipment to transport Malekith to Svartalfheim, where he is crushed by his own damaged ship. Thor returns to Asgard, where he declines Odin's offer to take the throne and tells Odin of Loki's sacrifice. As he leaves, Odin's form transforms into Loki, who is alive and impersonating Odin. As for the last movie in the trilogy, we recap the story of Thor Ragnarok. 2 years after the Battle of Sokovia, Thor is imprisoned by the fire demon Surtur, who reveals that Thor's father Odin is no longer on Asgard. He explains that the realm will soon be destroyed during the prophesied Ragnarok, once Surtur unites his crown with the eternal flame that burns in Odin's vault. Thor frees himself, defeats Surtur, and takes his crown, believing he has prevented Ragnarok. Thor returns to Asgard to find Heimdall gone, and his estranged brother Loki posing as Odin. After exposing Loki, Thor forces him to help find their father, and with directions from Stephen Strange at the Sanctum Sanctorum in New York City, they locate Odin in Norway. Odin explains that he is dying, Ragnarok is imminent despite Thor's efforts to prevent it, and his passing will free his firstborn child, Hela, from a prison she was sealed in long ago. Hela commanded Asgard's armies, conquering the 9 realms with Odin, but Odin imprisoned her and wrote her out of history after fearing that she had become too ambitious and powerful. Odin dies as Thor and Loki look on, and Hela appears, destroying Thor's hammer Mjolnir. She pursues the two as they attempt to flee through the Bifrost Bridge, forcing them out into space. Arriving in Asgard, she defeats its army and kills the warriors 3. She then resurrects the ancient dead who once fought with her, including her giant wolf Fenris, and appoints the Asgardian Scourge as her executioner. Hela plans to use the Bifrost to expand Asgard's empire, but Heimdall sneaks in, takes the sword that controls the Bifrost, and begins hiding other Asgardians. Thor crash lands on Sakaar, a garbage planet surrounded by wormholes. A slave trader designated Scrapper 142 subdues him with an obedience disc and sells him as a gladiator to Sakaar's ruler, the Grandmaster, with whom Loki has already ingratiated himself. Thor recognizes 142 as a Valkyrie, one of a legendary force of female warriors who were killed fighting Hela eons ago. Thor is forced to compete in the Grandmaster's contest of champions, facing his old friend Hulk. Summoning lightning, Thor gets the upper hand, but the Grandmaster sabotages the fight to ensure Hulk's victory. Still enslaved after the fight, Thor attempts to convince Hulk and 142 to help him save Asgard, but neither is willing. He soon manages to escape the palace and finds the Quinjet that brought the Hulk to Sakaar. Hulk follows Thor to the Quinjet, where a recording of Natasha Romanoff causes him to transform back into Bruce Banner for the first time since Sokovia. The Grandmaster orders 142 and Loki to find Thor and Hulk, but the pair come to blows and Loki forces her to relive the deaths of her Valkyrie companions at the hands of Hela. Deciding to help Thor, she takes Loki captive. Unwilling to be left behind, Loki provides the group with the means to steal one of the Grandmaster's ships. They then liberate the other gladiators who, incited by 2 aliens named Korg and Meek, stage a revolution. Loki again attempts to betray his brother, but Thor anticipates this and incapacitates him, leaving him behind where Korg, Meek, and the Gladiators soon find him. Thor, Banner, and 142 escape through a wormhole to Asgard, where Hela's forces attack Heimdall and the remaining Asgardians in pursuit of the sword that controls the Bifrost. Banner transforms into Hulk again, defeating Fenris, while Thor and 142 fight Hela and her warriors. Loki and the Gladiators arrive to rescue the citizens, and a repentant Scourge sacrifices himself to enable their escape. Thor, facing Hela, loses his right eye and then has a vision of Odin that helps him realize only Ragnarok can stop her. He sends Loki to retrieve Surtur's crown and place it in the eternal flame. Surtur is reborn and destroys Asgard, killing Hela as the refugees flee. Aboard the Grandmaster's spaceship, Thor, now king, reconciles with Loki and decides to take his people to Earth. And that's a wrap. In just 10 minutes, you recap the whole Thor franchise. We hope you liked it, and if you did, like this video and comment your favorite Thor moment. And let us know, is Captain America worthy? Thanks for watching, and until the next brief movie.